Hello and welcome to Mario Kart Super Circuit. I'm Red2006 and I'll be your guide through the various tracks of this rather entertaining and well-designed game. Mario Kart Super Circuit was actually the first game to feature Retro Cups. It features all the tracks from the Super Nintendo as well as 20 brand new courses. I'll be racing on 100cc because I'm not that great. I will be picking Toad for the first one. We'll be playing as all the characters. Interesting to note, it says speed there, but it should actually read acceleration. The heavyweights are indeed the fastest. But if you're going for scoring in the Grand Prix, heavyweights get you a few more points than the lightweights. Before you actually select the character, press the R button to jump, press L to use items. A's accelerate, B's brake, plus pad steers. Pretty simple controls really, though note that you will get penalised if you take your finger off the accelerator or if you brake too much. Anyway, Mushroom Cup is going to be our first one. We've got some beautiful graphics representing each course, and these are pretty simple, a good way to get into the game. You can press the L or R button to access the extra tracks, as we can see there, but they just have simple graphics representing the course. There's quite a lot of excellent work that went into this game. You can just see how beautiful it looks from those little pictures alone. This was the last game to use pure sprite work, but it's definitely magnificent. Press A just before the start to get the boost. And we can use Toad's fairly good handling to maneuver through a lot of the corners pretty easily. Although sometimes I feel the handling can be a little over-responsive. But that's just me. It is also entirely possible that I'm just bad at the game, because, to be honest, I do prefer the F-Zero games. But this is still, nonetheless, I'd probably say it's my favourite Mario Kart game. It generally plays pretty well, looks absolutely beautiful as you can see, and it's nice and simple. It does have some pretty good options we'll be exploring later on. And there we go, we've racked up 43 coins on the first race. This one is pretty much a gimme. Little note about red shells. If you're holding them, press down on the plus pad and you'll drop them behind you as a trap. I'll show that off later. Needless to say, this feature has not been in any subsequent Mario Kart titles. My opinion is that they would take out anything that would make things easier for the human player, because some of the games are just cruel towards human players. Not that my favourite series F-Zero is actually a saint. It may be my favourite racing series, but even I've got to admit there's plenty of BS in that. I mean, GX's story mode can drive people to tears even now. If you crash into crabs or banana peels, sometimes you can hit the B button to brake and stop yourself spinning out. Let's demonstrate that little trick with the shells, and let's boost over here. I have to confess, I probably will be grizzling about the handling a fair bit because I'm not very fond of it. I do think it's a bit on the floaty side. But then again, that was the case with the original F-Zero, with the Super Mario Kart, and of course, F-Zero Maximum Velocity, which was also on the Game Boy Advance. And I wiped out on a crab. Oh, that was a rather nasty 1-2 already. And now Toad's mad. Shouldn't have made Toad mad. So we'll drop that behind us. I mean, much as I've said I like it, you can still wind up getting Mario Karted by this game. Just par for the course, really? So that little hiccup out of the way, we can move on. You will note that most of the graphics for these courses are reused as backgrounds for the SNES courses. I'll get to that once we reach those. Anyway, Riverside Park, a nice simple one that's one of my favourite courses in the game. Take the jump there, and we do swing out a little bit wide if we hit that booster, which is a little annoying for me, but Toad has very good handling, and we've wiped out Yoshi. That's me trying to drift like you do in other games, so that one's entirely on me. And over we go. I do find it's a little difficult to make subtle adjustments to the handling depending on who you're playing as. Not something I really appreciate because sometimes you do need a bit of subtlety, but on the whole could be a lot worse. Anyway, there is a bit of rubber banding that goes on in this, but it's really not too much of a problem. A lot of racing games tend to use rubber banding as a substitute for difficulty, in all fairness. I think it's a bit ridiculous, but that's just me. Whoops, don't want to go in the water again. Now if we can drop that behind us, we should have a little bit of breathing space. Oh, Peach is still tight in our tail. Oops, swung out a bit wide there. So despite some shoddy driving, we've still managed to win. And we've nearly wrapped this one up too. So we have a pretty much unbeatable lead, sorry. And now we're moving on to the Bowser Castle track. The first of 4 in these cups. It shares something in common with the Bowser Castle tracks of the SNES. Not only does it have very similar architecture in terms of how the track is structured, but the music is also based on the most recent Bowser boss fights. You'll note that this is very much based on Mario 64's Bowser fight. If you use boosts off certain jumps, you can sometimes get a bigger speed boost or jump higher. This can come in handy on certain tracks, but it can also screw you up if you're not that good, like me, so do take due care. Whoops. And Luigi spins out as soon as he gets into the picture. We'll leave that there just to mess with anyone and go. Despite slightly shoddy technique, Luigi is out of the picture, Peach comes second, and Luigi just pipped Mario. So, a nice short episode to begin, wrapping up the Mushroom Cup. I will show you the victory sequence. You cruise along on Peach Circuit, Peach's castle in the background. It's kind of a homage to Mario 64, and you've got some pretty good graphics. You've got a Hammer Bro there, some Toads, Shy Guys, Koopas and Paratroopers. And we get our gold trophy. 2 stars, not too bad. And Toad looks very happy with himself. So there we go, that wraps up the first episode. You've seen how it all works, now it's time to get into the serious stuff. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you out on the track for more Mario Kart Super Circuit.